Hey, good morning, folks. We're here at Lindo Lake with mymotoverse.com. You know, I tell you what, it's a great app. You need to go get it. Go to mymotoverse.com, mymotorverse.com. Download the app. It's not in the App Store. Make sure you go to the website, and you'll be able to see tons and tons of content that we do here at Lindo Lake. And we got a special guest today. We got Manny with a one bad Suzuki Hayabusa. Manny, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well, sir. How you doing this morning?
So what do you and this bike do to make everybody happy?
Well, I'll tell you what. This was built by National City Motorcycles. It's a one-off build. It's got carbon fiber from Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically, I call this my throttle therapy racing. This launched everything. Because when I got out of the military, I just needed a distraction.
Sure.
You know, medications don't work.
Right.
Narcotics, none of that stuff works.
And you needed a little bit of adrenaline.
100%. Now, in the military, I used to race bicycles. Now, as I've gotten older, I'm like, I don't want to pedal. I just want to twist the throttle. And what better platform to do that than this? And
but you do something with this bike.
Yes, I do.
It's not like you just get on and go ride it. You actually give back to the community.
100%. So this is one of three that I have in my race stable. Now, my group is called Throttle Therapy Racing.
Okay.
You can see me at Verona Drags, Irwindale, Fontana, all the local drag shows. But I also do a lot of car shows. And people come up to me, hey, what is Throttle Therapy Racing?
Right.
And what I do is I share my message. If you're a veteran, if you're a civilian suffering from PTSD, chronic pain, find your outlet. And for me, these motorcycles are that outlet.
And it's a great connection with the community. And once you tell you, it's just a way to tell a story.
100%.
You know, I mean, other than if you were just sitting there, I mean, people,
Yeah.
you know, they're not going to even ask a question, but the way you got your gear on,
Yes.
which you promote safety,
100%.
because you're wearing leathers, you got
100%. Yes.
braces, the elbow
Everything.
pad,
Everything.
you know, the
100%.
helmet. I mean, everything is designed for safety. So you've got that kind of a safety mentality.
100%.
Then you got the motorcycle mentality, and then you got great companies like Redline Oil to help you make this dream come true. So when somebody comes up to you and says, all right, tell me about your event, what is your spiel?
So like I said, it depends on if I'm doing a car show. Now, if I'm doing a car show, I do a lot of Charger Steve's event.
Right.
This bike is one best of show. I was just on the promenade in El Cajon
Great.
with all those high dollar builds, and they're amazing. And people will come up to me and ask, hey, tell me about your bike. And I'll literally break it down from the axle on up and tell them what's been done to it. But the most important thing, it is to bring awareness to veterans, civilians, firefighters, anybody that has these ailments. It could be chronic pain, PTSD, any of these things. I share with them, like, you just have to find something. Find your passion, whether it's art, music, whatever it is. Don't look for it in a bottle. Find something and understand that whatever you're suffering from, it most likely may be with you for the rest of your life. So you need to be very mindful in pacing yourself with your hobby. I can't just go out and just start doing these things, you know, and think there's nothing wrong.
Right.
When I sense the pain is getting a little bit too much, I back away. But I make sure that when I'm at these events, I do engage with the public.
Right.
I do engage with when I see a little one, when I say little ones, like, 5 to 7 years old, and they walk up to the bike and actually are looking at it and, wow, tell me, and they're not buried in the phone. I'll say, what do you like about it? And they're like, oh, I like the rims, or I like this. And I usually have about 100 Hot Wheels, brand new in the package. And I'll ask the parents' permission, like, hey, if it's okay, have your son or daughter go pick out a car or two.
Yeah.
Because in my head, I just help build a new little gearhead.
Well, what happens when you pick a little kid up and you set him on the seat?
That is something different. Now, this isn't a loud motorcycle, but they see it and they can kind of get the feel. But
Sometimes if they just sit on it.
Just sit on it. And yeah, the parents will be like, hey, can I get a picture standing next to the bike? And I'm like, hey, put them on.
And the parents almost are just as excited as
Yes.
the little kids.
Yes.
But you don't see stuff like this all the time.
No, you don't. And you've seen a few of my other bikes. Now, here's the deal. I recently partnered up with Vision Culture Foundation. Now, Vision Culture Foundation is a nonprofit there in National City.
Mm-hmm.
They're a group of amazing, talented artists. I can paint. I can do all these things where I can paint bikes. I can do all this. But I wanted to shine the spotlight on these young, talented artists.
Right.
Now, by shining the spotlight on them, I basically took my 1,000 horsepower turbo bike down to their facility on National City, and I had everything wrapped up in plastic. And I said, my only restrictions are the colors, white, blue, and orange. And it's a Sub-Zero theme. And I said, just have at it.
And paint it?
They painted it. Now, when it was all done, absolutely amazing. And they were a little bit concerned because it's a very high dollar bike.
Yeah.
And they're like, what if we mess it up? And I'm like, you can't. It's art.
Yeah, it's art.
It's your interpretation.
Yeah.
When it was all done and assembled, I invited the artists with their parents to come on up to the Steve McQueen car show. I debuted it there. And to see the parents being so proud of their children that may or may not be 100% backing their art ambition, but just seeing the mothers teared, the father's shoulders back, that's my boy, that's my girl. So I not only focus on veterans, grown men and women, older people, but if we don't bring that same energy towards the youth and give them a path, because otherwise they may or may not be painting on a small easel or a block wall that's hidden in an alley somewhere. Yeah. This bike is going to get, not this one, but my turbo bike will be showcased around the world. It's already won actually Charger Steve's Dolly Award at the Father's Day show.
Ah, that is so cool. He does such a good job. He's heavily involved in my Motorverse as well.
Yes.
He's part of the people that make it happen.
Yes.
So let's say somebody would like you to come to their event. How do they get a hold of you?
Oh, they could just reach me on either Throttle Therapy on Instagram or Facebook. Okay. Excuse me, only on Instagram. Or they can reach out to me on Facebook, Manny Garcia, on Instagram, Manny Garcia Horsepower, and on TikTok.
All right. Yeah. And what do you charge to come out to somebody's event?
I don't charge anything. Like it costs me money to go to these events.
I know, that's why I was throwing. But that's where Redline comes in.
Well, I mean, they help me with the product, and basically all their amazing products protect all my investments.
Oh yeah, you can't beat Redline.
So on 3 days' notice, I've driven 1,000 miles to Firebird Raceway in Idaho to set up my display. Sure. I mean, for me, it's just about giving back.
Absolutely. Well, I tell you what, Manny, let's talk a little bit about this particular bike. This isn't the 1,000 horsepower turbo. What do you got there?
No. So this is a fully built Hayabusa. So it starts off at 1,341 cc's. It's been built up a bit more to 1,441 cc's. And with that, I mean, from the crank up, all the machining's done at AP. Okay. Just right outside of Willow Springs.
Okay.
So best pistons, Wassner pistons.
So the best of the best.
Best of the best from the crank up.
What's she doing a quarter mile?
This one will do 820s, which is reasonable. So this is actually built for the Texas Mile. So in 2025, the goal is...
The Texas Mile. I love that.
Yeah, so we're going to shoot for the Texas Mile, but also maybe I should let it out here. 2025, we are shooting for Bonneville.
I was waiting to hear that.
Yeah, we're shooting for Bonneville, and primarily because my 1,000 horsepower bike, my engineer that has it right now, he goes, hey, have you ever thought about doing Bonneville? Yeah. I'm like, not until you mentioned it.
Are there any records that you would be going after?
Well, for this first year, you show up there. I've already read all the safety requirements.
You got to qualify.
Yeah, and you all show up with a big R on my helmet as a rookie. So the first one is just to get the data. But I do a ton of recon, ton of research with anything I do.
Right.
And the goal would be to find out, okay, what is the naturally aspirated street legal class record? And then we'll kind of like, okay, let's get licensed first. Right. And then we'll make progression to that. Then,
they even have 50cc motorcycles.
Oh, they got everything. They got everything. They got mopeds, yeah.
Yeah, so there's records all the way across the board. And how cool would that be for you to have a record?
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Kind of like a little...
I've done quite a bit in the motorsports industry, and I've won quite a bit. I've won a Wally up at Verona. I've won plenty of show awards. So to be able to attempt to go to Bonneville and do another...
It's a bucket list for me, too.
Yeah. I've never been there.
I've never
been there.
But it's a bucket list for sure. All right. Manny, this has been a blast.
Oh, I love talking with you. I love talking.
Keep in touch. And
100%.
Let's do a walk around on the bike. I think our photographer loves to do it, and then you could just sort of
I can
start at the front and we'll work our way to the back. So let's start with the tires. Anything special about them?
Yeah, so these are Dunlop Q3 tires. They're a tri-compound tire. The center of the tire is a very hard compound. You get a lot of mileage out of those, but as you roll around to the side, it goes softer for better grip.
Gotcha.
The rims are not stock. Those are performance machine rims on ceramic bearings.
Perfect.
Carbon fiber fairings, fender inserts, Magical Racing windscreen, all the carbons from Japan.
And other than the gas tank, it's all custom.
Pretty much. Well, actually, the black bodywork, this is all still factory from 2000.
Oh, okay. All right.
But it is ceramic coated and Akrapovic dual carbon exhaust.
Wow.
The rims, they don't come 240. This is a 240 rear tire. Stock is a cast 190, and it definitely doesn't have the look of this, the finish.
Right.
The thought was, okay, I have a very high dollar exhaust. Let's match the finish on the rims to the exhaust.
Sure.
So polishing pros out in El Cajon.
Okay.
Oscar and his crew did an amazing job. And the color on all the accent pieces is called translucent olive.
Get this off so we can...
Oh yeah, no, you're fine. So all the gauge work here.
I was just going to say, that's the reason I wanted to show the gauge work, because it's not your normal speedometer and jack.
No, I mean, I love digital electronics, but when it comes to having an investment like this in the motor, I wanted analog gauges so I can see everything from the fuel pressure, oil pressure, all the.
Well, yeah, you got to be watching what's going on while you're at.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And I'll tell you. So you did 8 seconds. What was your speed?
Oh, that was 163 miles an hour. Yeah, and I mean that's really.
Well, I know, but people stop and think about 163 miles an hour on a two wheel.
Well, not only that, this is my street bike. This is not even my drag bike. So just over 200 horsepower on this one. I'll run it on VP 110. And if you look at this side, everybody that's on this side, the side that he's currently filming right now, that is the clean side. Okay. There's no stickers. There's no.
Well, let's come over here.
Any kind of sponsors over there.
Let's come over here to the billboard.
Yeah, you go on the other side, and people are like, "Holy smoke, what is all this?" I'm like, "Well, that's pretty much everything that's stuffed in the motor."
All the people that help you.
Everybody, yeah, of course. Red Line Oil, Magical Racing. You know, I am a member of Team APE.
What's that?
They're the motor sponsors, so they got all the hard parts. But most importantly, the business that did this was National City Motorcycles.
Right.
They've been in business since the 70s. Rob down there, John, the parts manager, Mike, Justin Scarborough, the wrench, he built this motor and pretty much put everything together. Now, I can do a lot. I cannot build motors yet. I'm adding that to my bucket list. So I lean on guys like that.
That's what I would do.
Crow Performance did all the race tech suspension. Sinar Graphics, they did a lot of my signage for my pop-ups. Natalie and her team, they absolutely crush it. And those National City Motorcycles, Crow Performance, Sinar Graphics, I consider those are my OG.
Yeah.
Been with me since before everybody else arrived.
And who would think you can get this many stickers on a bike?
Well,
what, Manny, stick with it.
I'm trying.
You're doing God's work. No doubt about it.
Thank you very much. Just trying to give back.
There you go. All right, folks, we're going to go ahead and take a break because we got more for you on mymotorverse.com. Stay tuned.